Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mark Carlson. I grew up in Deerfield and have been best of friends with Ross since the third grade. And this evening, we have other classmates over here at this table, so watch out for them. I went to Deerfield High School and Ross went to Highland Park. But we managed to maintain our friendship and connect even when traveling different paths. My wife Barbara is here tonight with me, also from Deerfield. And we've been partners since high school. Together, we have been close friends with Ross and Nancy and the family as they've all grown up for 40 plus years. Tonight, I'm here and I have the privilege to introduce to you the first speaker of the evening, Tony Dungy. The GPF Foundation is excited to have Tony speak here tonight via a Zoom recording that we recently had. A special thank you to the GPF co-founding board member, Jana Burke, and GPF program manager, Frey Hoffman, for making this Zoom recording possible. For those of you not familiar or don't follow professional football, I'll give you a formal introduction to Tony. Tony's a #1 New York Times best-selling author of several books. He's won 2 Super Bowls, one as a player and one as a head coach, and was the first such to win as an African-American head coach. Tony was inducted into the National Football League Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2016. He's active in many, many charities. And Tony retired from coaching in 2009, now serving as a studio analyst for NBC's Football Night in America. I've been blessed in my life to have several very influential people who have been mentors to me and have shaped me into the man that I am today. Tony Dungy is one of these men. Tony was instrumental in my decision to attend the University of Minnesota. Tony was my host on my recruiting week and made a big impact on me. We've stayed in contact over the years and remained friends. Tony is one of the most giving, generous, and humble men I know. Greg Friedman shared many of these amazing traits and also has a deep love for the sport of football. I know that he would be very proud and happy that Tony is here sharing his message with all of you here tonight. So it is my pleasure to introduce Tony Dungy to the GPF family. Thank you. The GPF Foundation is very excited to be able to have you be part of the family and be a part of this event. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It's great. We have discussed some of the great things that you're doing, and it's nice to be a part of it, even virtually.
So Tony, we first met when we were quite a bit younger. You were a very strong mentor of mine in my young years. I was a senior in high school coming from Deerfield, Illinois on a recruiting trip of which you were my host. And you influenced my decision to go to the University of Minnesota. And we only had a year together there, but we were roommates during training camp. I sat back and I watched how you operated like a sponge in all the quarterback meetings we had, the practices, the games.
Well, Mark, I remember that whole year really well. I remember you coming up that winter, and I wanted to talk to you about the opportunity that you would have to go there and get a great education, to be the quarterback, to be a leader on the team and on the campus. And you did all that. And that was kind of my way of kind of passing the torch, and it made me feel good to know that you received that torch and kept going with it.
We talked about being blessed with mentors and influential people in our lives. You know, Greg Friedman, in his short life, had an uncanny knack of seeking out people and taking interest in them and supporting them. He would love that you're joining us here tonight because he had a love for football. He really was a star, accomplished athlete. He went on to the University of Tulane, where he played football. Greg reached out to people, and he was a connector. And he would be so pleased, Tony, that you're a part of this here tonight.
Well, I didn't get to know Greg personally, but through you, I've gotten to learn about him and his life. And I'll tell you, Mark, we all need those kind of mentors and those kind of people who are willing to help us. Super Bowl 41, I was coaching the Colts. We were playing against the Chicago Bears, unfortunately, but with a minute left in that game, we're going to win the game. And I remember standing on the sideline thinking, man, how did I get here? Little kid from Jackson, Michigan. I'm coaching a Super Bowl winning team. How did that happen? And I started thinking about all the people who had made a difference in my life. And this is in a minute. I mean, they were just flashing through my mind. Alan Truman, Leroy Rockmore, my high school coaches, my barber, all of these people. And it's the Greg Friedmans that came to my mind at that time. Somebody who poured into me to help me that didn't have to do it, but just took that interest. And so I'm proud to be part of this effort to keep Greg's legacy going.
That's so well put. You know, Tony, sadly, like the Friedmans, you and Lauren lost a child. Can you talk a little bit about how you and your family were able to pull yourself out of that tragedy?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, losing a child is something you're never prepared for. You don't expect it to happen. And you're not going to be ready for it. To us, it was devastating. But our faith in God, I think, really got us through and let our family think, okay, how is the Lord going to use this for good? It's a terrible situation, but God can use it for good. Well, what is that going to be? And for us, I think just like the Friedmans, it was, let's reach out, let's do some things to not only help our family, the rest of our family, but to help other people around us and take James's legacy and let that keep going forward, just like they're doing with Greg's legacy. So to us, it was, how are we going to move forward from this? And, you know, I don't want to trivialize it and make it seem like, you know, in a sporting context, but I think that's the great thing about sports is you understand you don't win every game. There are setbacks. There are things that don't go your way. So when you have a tragedy, even something as terrible as that, you know you can bounce back from it. And that's what we wanted to do as a family. And I know that's what the Friedmans have wanted to do with this.
Yeah, the GPF Foundation is a great legacy to Greg and so many of all the other young adults that need to be educated and aware and know that there's help and support.
I think for me, it's just great to be part of this evening and looking at it as a celebration of life and a celebration of what Greg meant to so many people. I just love what I've heard about him. I love meeting his parents through you. And I think that's kind of, it's on all of us to kind of keep that going. So to be part of this and be part of the celebration, I'm really, really excited.